Someone open the door!
July 2025, Taos County, New Mexico. 3 former soldiers, brothers in arms who had served together at Fort Benning, Georgia, were now living under one roof in the quiet mountain community near Tres Piedras. 25-year-old Matthew McLaughlin, a U.S. Army veteran from West Virginia, had moved to New Mexico earlier that year. He'd come at the invitation of Rainor Joyner, a 23-year-old serviceman who claimed he wanted to help McLaughlin turn his life around to escape the substance abuse issues that'd been dragging him down. The third roommate was David Degroat, just 22 years old, another soldier from their unit. On the surface, it seemed like a story of military brotherhood, veterans helping veterans, but behind closed doors, something far darker was taking shape. On July 31st, Matthew McLaughlin was reported missing. No goodbye, no warning signs, no trace. At first, investigators had little to go on. There were no witnesses to his disappearance, no signs of a struggle, no body, just an empty room and unanswered questions. But detectives soon turned their focus to the 2 men who knew Matthew best. The ones who shared his home, who had served alongside him, who claimed they were trying to help him. Rainor Joyner and David Degroat.
The fact that you're taking us to recover his body, the fact that you came clean and were honest, I'm going to ensure that that's reflected with the district attorney.
By August 18th, investigators had already made a horrific discovery along U.S. Highway 64 near Tres Piedras, a desolate stretch of roads surrounded by high desert and mountains. Scattered in plastic trash bags along the roadside, they'd found human remains, Matthew McLaughlin's body. Now, both suspects were brought back in for questioning. And in these interrogations, the full truth would finally emerge. The 2 men started talking, confessions that would expose the brutal reality of what happened. What you're about to see are the interrogation videos of David Degroat and Rainor Joyner. The confessions that exposed one of the most disturbing homicide cases in recent New Mexico history.
Are not free to leave. I'm going to issue your Miranda rights again. Okay. So you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him or her present with you while you're being questioned. If you can afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You could exercise this rights at any point in time that you'd like and not answer my questions or make any statements. Do you understand your rights as I've explained them to you?
Yes, sir.
Having these rights in mind, are you still willing to speak to me?
I'm still willing to speak, sir.
Okay. So, we're here in reference to what started off as a missing person and is now being ruled a homicide of Matthew McLaughlin. I'm Deputy Don Byers. We spoke the other day. This is my partner, Deputy McCarty. We're just trying to get the full story. So again, man, like last time, like I told you last time, now that we are out in the open and we're at the situation we are, from the beginning to the end, I need every possible detail that you have in reference to the situation. Do you want me to explain to you the whole movie trailer versus movie thing again?
I get it.
Yeah. So whenever you're ready, brother.
So I would say it was, for what Joyner was thinking, it was pre-plotted beforehand. Because I would tell him about Matt still had a drug habit and he was still talking shit and making rumors. Everything just kind of pissed off Joyner, so several occasions. Kind of told him, like, hey, no, don't kill him. Just, kick him off the property or something. Or, like, give him a certain talking to again. To the point where it eventually came down to the point where he says that he was gonna go with the plan for Matt to get killed. So when Matthew was over in Colorado dealing with the VA, getting all that stuff done for himself. Went to go grocery store, pick up groceries. He got dropped off at Cassandra and Jason's house. I went to go walk with him as we walked up the road at the cart carrying the groceries of everything. As we got to an intersection, a shot rang out. Matt got shot in his right lung from Joyner's rifle, specifically his AR-15. Matt, not knowing what's happening, he did say, "I got shot," and he starts to freak out. Then Joyner comes from around the corner with my Beretta. He sticks it to his face and shoots him in the jaw, which makes his eyes swell up. And he starts to choke at his blood as he hits the floor. And then he hovers over him with an execution shot and gets him right on the temple. He's waiting in the bushes for him.
Just give it a second while I write some notes, okay? So, basically, this has been an ongoing thing between Joyner and Matt. You state that this was due to rumors and Matt's drug use. There was some conversations prior about Rainor wanting to kill Matt. You told him don't kill him, I'd give him a stern talking to. Came to a point where Rainor decided to follow through with the plan to kill Matt. Matt went to Colorado, came back, was dropped off at Cassandra and Jason's house. You walked down to Matthew, walked up with him from the road. A shot rang out. Matthew was struck in the right lung. He starts saying that he's been shot. Rainor comes from around the corner with a 92 FS, or you said a Beretta.
It's the Beretta 92 FS.
Okay. Shot him in the face, causes Matt's eye to swell. And then he goes over Matt and fires an execution shot and was hiding in the bushes.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm going to have a few questions for you, kid. Just give me a minute. Just hold on a second, okay? Shouldn't have any more interruptions, I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm not gonna, so on your timeline, you have rough dates or that sort of stuff?
It's rough dates, but I would say July 25th is the execution date.
Okay,
Everything
cool, bro.
else
So,
is more just a murmur of a pre-plot that he made.
so my one question for you is I want you to explain to me the plan that you're talking about.
A plan to kill Matt that Joyner made.
Okay.
So his idea was initially he was going to come up the road that we were going to have, and he was going to try to snipe him with his 308 from a distance. And then his plan changed when Matt said he was getting dropped off over by the other road. So then Joyner's idea was he was going to take my Beretta so he can have a sidearm and then he grabbed his AR and then waited in the bushes for us to come up, and he told me to stick to one side of the road and to be very loud when I'm near the area. So when he sees Matt come up on the side, despite how dark it is, he doesn't need to worry about who it is.
And so, more specifically on this plan, when it was discussed previously, how was it discussed?
It was discussed in person because he showed up a little bit beforehand when Matt wasn't there to just try to talk about it because he figured phones would be tapped and shit like that no matter what.
Was it earlier that day?
He did show up earlier that day for when that did happen. He had his van parked all the way at the beginning of the road where you saw me and Joyner come up. He had his van parked all the way down there. He had me walk him up. He tried to plan it about what was going to go down, saw that his plan was going to work into the other one, and then that was the execution he made. He told me preemptively, he said, "You're going to help me with this. You're going to help me with this. You're not going to tell anyone, or I will kill you." Because then I would be knowing too much.
So, you mentioned that you had convinced him not to kill him.
I tried to beforehand several times.
And it was that same day?
No, that was a few days beforehand when he brought Jerome over and I told him what the situation and he's just like, "I'm gonna fucking kill him." And I was just like, "Calm down, don't kill him," and they just start ranking off.
So basically, Joyner made a preemptive plan to have Matt come up the road. He was going to snipe him with 308 first. He changed that plan because Matt changed the road that he was dropped off on. Rainor told you to be loud so that way he knew you were coming. Took the Beretta 92 FS.
And his AR.
And AR. Demanded that you were going to help him with this, or he was going to kill you. It initially started when Jerome was around, this plan to kill Matthew, and you tried to stop him for basically a few days, and you convinced him up until that day.
Did he mention any sort of plans about killing Matt before the Jerome incident, or?
Well, when Joyner started hearing about how Matthew didn't want me talking to him in general, like when we were going into town, Joyner did come in one random day. He got dropped off at the house when I was alone there. He kicked the door open with the shotgun in hand, and then he started to ask questions about what's going on. And I told him about all the stuff Matt was saying, because Matt was kind of ignoring him. So he just wanted to know what was happening. So then he waited there that night for Matt to come home as well, just to talk.
Do you know how long ago this was?
I'm trying to think when the Ford was running. No, it wasn't running yet. Maybe like a month or two ago. I would say so. No, like 2.5 maybe.
So the next thing I want to talk about, I want you to describe explain to me in more detail the reasons that Rainor wanted to kill Matthew.
He said it was more so because it was being disrespectful. He's being disrespectful, being slanderous, being nothing but a strung out junkie, going back to his old habits. So he felt like he was taking out the trash or getting rid of a rat. It was just nothing but more anger, I would say, about him.
So basically, decided he wanted to kill Matthew because of disrespect and slander. He was a strung out junkie going back to his old ways, and Rainor felt like it was more like getting rid of a rat or throwing out the trash. So let's dive into the disrespect. What was so disrespectful that Rainor was angry with?
So Matt would constantly be talking a lot of shit of saying like, oh, he doesn't know how it is out here. We've been out here for 4 months. Hasn't been out here in 7 years. He doesn't show up in here anymore. This isn't his fucking house. We don't have to listen to him. And then he would start talking about how, at least to other people, just making shit up of like, oh, he did this, and this in the army, of saying shit like he was hitting women and shit. Just
Referring to who?
Joyner. Matthew referring to Joyner. But I at least know he didn't do that, but he kept trying to push an agenda to other people beforehand, which is why he pissed off Joyner.
Describe to me why. Try and explain to me why Joyner is for lack of a better term, feels so territorial over you.
Because he used me as his brother, like I said beforehand, because we both known each other for a long time in the military. We both had of that. We used to have the same shitty leadership. Both of our dads died, so we bonded over that. He has no other siblings left. So he claims me as like his younger brother. But he's usually very territorial about the people he knows.
Basically, the reason that he reacts the way he does with you is because you guys consider yourself brothers. You guys bond over personal things like your dads both died. You guys have no siblings. And,
well, he has no siblings.
No, he has no siblings. And he considers you a younger brother.
Yeah.
So, explain what made you decide to participate in the murder of your friend.
It was out of fear for my own safety, because he also dropped me off at my house for Christmas before, so he knows where my family lives. And I know he would be the type of man to do it as well.
Describe that.
I know he's the kind of man, if he's angry enough, he'll just shoot someone just for talking shit. So if I became a loose end somehow, and he found out that I was talking about it, I'm pretty sure I would get an end cap in it as well. Have the same fate as Matt.
What makes you so fearful of Joyner?
It's because I know he's capable of doing it. Just because he says it, it also means he can do it. Because he says beforehand that he has killed someone around the property before with his dad. Which is believable, at least.
What role did you play in the body?
He had me just hold a bag open so he could dump all the parts in, so he could make sure my DNA was on it as well.
Okay, so I'm sorry, say that again?
He wanted me to hold the bags so he could dump the body parts in so he could make sure my DNA was on the bags as well.
And how do you know that?
Because it's what he told me. He said, you're going to join me, or you're going to get the same thing as he did. But you're going to help me with this body if you like it or not.
Take a breath for a second.
Thank you.
We know the two weapons that were used in the murder. What was used in the decapitation of your friend?
The decapitation the weapon used was a sledgehammer with an axe head on it that he bought in the store specifically for that purpose.
What was it bought from?
I'm guessing Harbor Freight or something like that.
So, before the execution of that plan, when you walked down to Matthew, why were you walking down to Matthew?
To help him with the groceries. He wanted to see the puppy.
Okay.
His groceries usually feed at least 2 people because the way he piled up on top, it usually tips over, so someone needs to hold on to it.
And at that point in time, did you know that your friend was going to be shot?
Yes.
How did you know?
Because when I was walking down, I know Joyner's still behind me with his rifle. I still know the plan was that he had set in motion was still going to happen. But I didn't know what to think at the moment at the time. Kind of went numb for most of it.
You mentioned that Joyner had told you to be loud.
Yes.
Were you loud?
I was loud when I was coming up to the area that he was.
And what were you doing to be loud?
Just talking to Matthew a little extra louder. Just kind of raising my voice or trying to make jokes.
When Matthew was initially shot, how far away was Joyner?
About from the door to, I'd say like the table in that corner. About that distance of him hiding in the bushes as it was dark outside. Just almost no sunlight.
It's about 12 yards.
About so.
Okay. You have anything else?
What? Do you know what kind of AR you used?
He has a Springfield Saint Victor.
So let me ask you this. I know you told me that Matt sat under the tree for a while.
After he killed Matt, and then he made me grab his things and put it in a bucket, a small bag that he had.
Whose things?
Matthew's things.
Real quick, bro, I don't want to interrupt you, but when you're talking about somebody specific, can you mention their name? So that way I don't have to go back to it.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, I'm not mad about it, just for clarity.
So Joyner had a bucket down there because we brought me and Joyner after he killed him. He brought all the groceries and stuff back into the house, emptied everything into the house, grabbed the cart with a bucket and the hacksaw, and then he went back down with me to have watch. And then he had me grab his phones, his tablets, a small bag, his wallet, different personal things of personal identification to burden. Everything was getting put in that bucket. Then he had Joyner had me help him drag Matt behind the tree about like 200 feet past the road. And he went to go try to cut his leg with a hacksaw, but it didn't work. So he went to go put that in the bucket as well. And by the time me and Joyner got back to the house, he made a fire to burn out all of his belongings.
Where's the hacksaw at?
We have it.
You have it?
It was melted in the bottom of the.
Oh, so you guys had done.
I went to go show them where it was.
Okay. I don't think I have anything else that I need from him.
So
If you have some more questions.
did you guys start dismembering Matt before or after I called you guys to ask where he was at?
It was beforehand, before the first initial call for the missing persons report. He already had no head and hands by that point. And then he had me hold the bag open so he could. Joyner had me hold the bag open to put Matt's head and hands in the bag, and then put the bag in the bucket. And then he said he tossed it on the side of the ditch.
What day did you guys start dismembering that body?
I don't remember the day it was for dismembering. It was more just rough times of what it was, because it was almost a week before, almost a week after he died was when he started to dismember him, and it's when he smelled bad and started bloating.
Okay, how long did it take you guys to dismember the body?
He threw away the last piece around last week, which was the torso and a leg bone. But there was no meat on it, it was just nothing but ribs and the spine, hips.
Is that the statement that you wrote out?
So I had him write the statement while he did it on recording too. Rita has it, she was in here with me, and then there's a timeline of
It's 2 pages for the statement.
So what we're probably gonna have you do for the statement is what I want you to do, man, is I want you to read it for the record out loud. And then we'll have you explain the timeline again to us, okay? He initialed, he signed, he dated. So just read the statement out loud for us, okay? From the beginning all the way to the end.
About 2 weeks before Joyner shot Matthew, on several occasions. They signed the backside. About 2 weeks before Joyner shot Matt on several occasions, after I would talk about Matthew, I would tell Joyner of Matthew's drug and alcohol problem, of excessive use, and how he would constantly complain and start rumors or ill-speaking of Joyner. I talked him out of him trying to kill him a few times. After I would tell him these things he wouldn't listen. About 3 days beforehand of when Matt's incident happened, it was planned that he was going to kill him. Joyner was going to kill Matthew. He told me if I was to tell anybody and did not help him, he would kill me. For the fear of my own safety, I went with that. For the night of Matt's death, Matt was out for the day dealing with the VA and getting groceries. I walked down over to Matthew and where Cassandra was at to help him with the groceries to bring him back up. Me and Matthew walked up with our stuff. As we got closer to the intersection, a shot rang out. Joyner shot Matt in his right lung with his AR-15, which made Matt panic. As he was in panic, Joyner comes up close and shoots one round from my handgun, my 2FS, into his jaw, making his eyes swell up. As Matt laid on the floor choking on his own blood, Joyner walks right above him and puts one more round into Matt's skull. As soon as that happens, he aims it at me and then lowers it. Me and Joyner, after the fact, take everything that Matt brought in his cart back to the house. We unload everything, and then me and Joyner both walk back down to where Matt was, grabbed all of his personal effections, cards, devices, anything with information, and put them in an empty bucket to burn later. We set it aside, and he tells me to help him move the body. So I grabbed the legs, and he grabbed the upper half, and we drag him and lay him under a pine tree. As then he grabs a hacksaw and tries to cut his legs, but the bone breaks the blade. So we left him under the tree and walked back to the house to burn all of Matt's stuff that we had in the bucket. He told me to put his phones, his tablets, wallets, other items of personal information inside the bucket. Joyner comes back a few days later, promising the same threat and outcome he told me before. He had brought a sledgehammer axe, which he used to cut off the hands and the head of Matthew. And he tells me to open the bag to put them in. Joyner tells me to open the bag to have him put Matthew's hands and head inside the bag. And afterwards, he tells me that he threw it in a drainage ditch somewhere and in the middle of the road. As more and more time passes, he would come by a few days, check on the body. And then he did only the same process as before, with cutting off his limbs within the spans of different days. Cutting off his limbs, no bucket, only just black bags. As of last week, we checked on it, and it was missing a shoulder blade and an arm, and it was moved by wild dogs. And yet again, as of last week, it only became a rib cage and a leg joint, and Joyner has me help him bag it. He's still threatening to kill me. Then he dumps the body somewhere on the road as his usual spot for then. As time comes on, then the sheriff's office calls me for me and Joyner to come in for a statement. And he was coaching on me what to say, and I followed out of fear for my life and complied to him again.
So to describe, before we get into the timesheet, timeline, describe what you mean by coaching.
He was coercing me on what to say, what not to say, like in terms like, we don't know Yo-Yo, I left at this time, he left at this time, he had these things.
So basically trying to make your guys' stories identical.
Yes.
Why didn't you come back to pick you up yesterday?
He was out there.
Okay.
And I was walking to the house, which is only 2 miles that way.
Okay. Explain that timeline to us.
So for the timeline, Matt's official date of death was July 25th. That's when Joyner shot him. A rough estimate of almost a week passes. And Joyner chops off the hands and the head, and he dumps off everything else. A few more days pass. Joyner cuts down the limbs as the body is more bloated. And then, as of last week, Joyner bags the rest of the torso and tosses it.
I don't have anything else that I want to ask you or need to ask you at this point in time, but if my partner does.
I know this is gonna be difficult for you. First, so I would like for you to draw us a black out, okay, just to better show us the road that you guys took.
Of where he got shot or where he dropped everything off.
So like where Matt got dropped off and you met him on the road to go to the house, right? That like just a generic, like just draw me like a road going to the house, and then where the house is at, and then where he got shot, and like kind of everybody's positioned when he did get shot. But real quick, well let me let you do this, and then we'll talk some more. Okay.
That's the highway.
Yeah, so just go, and then north is straight up, so
Yeah.
just, draw it.
So
That's
there's
a
a,
good idea. That's a good idea.
there's a road that goes all the way right here. Facing Cassandra's house is around here, where there's a small bend.
Okay, would you mind, just like, draw little squares up there right there?
Yeah, there's
like,
an X right
like,
here.
right, Cassandra's house or something.
At a K house. So Matt got dropped off here at Cassandra's house because she was his ride. And the house is up here. It's Joyner's house. So after the long walk up, going all the way here, so around the middle section right here is where he shot him. Matt died in the spot up over here as Joyner was hiding in the bushes over here to get him, and I was in the back right corner.
Got it, okay. Okay, can you write everybody's names on the X's right there for me, please? Thank you.
Oh, the one question I did have, David, is where's this Jerome guy at?
I don't know. I've only saw him the one time, and then I really don't leave the house that much, so I don't know. Because I know he got fired from the construction site for showing up drunk constantly.
Could you sign and date that for me, bro? Yeah. And then on this too,
It's signed in front.
it's signed, that's your signature?
Yeah, that's me just trying to write nice at least, so it's legible.
Gotcha. And then just give me your actual signature that you used on there. Yeah, perfect. And then just do that the same on all the documents for me, please, with a date on there. And today's now the 18th. So, David, I wanna make something crystal clear for you. Okay, so there's no surprises. Like I've been telling you, I really appreciate your cooperation. And there's only gonna be a few more times where you're gonna have to talk about this and re-get this, okay? It's not over yet. It's just kind of the beginning, okay? It's gonna help you a lot to remain cooperative and to eventually testify against Joyner. Okay, that's what this is gonna lead to. It's gonna lead to you having to testify against him in court. You sitting on the stand with Joyner sitting on a table not far from you, and you telling this whole story, okay? And answering questions from the prosecutor, and then being cross-examined by the defense attorney. Okay, you understand all that?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure you're aware of it, you're prepared for it, because that's what we're gonna need from you. We're gonna need you to testify to this, okay?
I've been to court.
And if you lie at all, man, we're about to find out.
I'm aware.
Or, I mean, to be real honest with you, we didn't believe you guys at all. From the get-go. I didn't buy anything you guys were telling me.
I'm aware.
And your guys' story was, it's wild because we could tell where you guys had cooperated and tried to make everything identical, and then there was times where it was like you guys were fucking on opposites of the earth, you know, which when people are lying, you know, they kind of do a lot of weird shit. Yeah, I appreciate you being honest, man.
It feels nice to actually tell someone about
I'm sure, man. That's a heavy fucking burden to carry, bro. It's your friend. He was murdered, cold blood,
it. You will.
and chopped up. By what it sounds like, by people that he really trusted. According to his mom, he talked very highly about you guys.
He did. At least me, because he told his mom he looked at me as a little brother as well, and he wanted to protect me.
It's true. It's an accurate statement. So, are you done?
Yeah.
At this time, man, we're gonna conclude this interview. What's gonna happen from here? We're gonna go inside. We're gonna switch you places with the joiner. You're gonna have to sit around while we do some more interviews. Some more investigating. You're gonna be facing some pretty heavy charges. You'll get a copy of your arrest warrant when we complete it, and you'll be housed in the Taos County Adult Detention Center. I'll be reaching out to my district attorney tomorrow to file for a pre-detention hearing, which means that I don't want you out until trial. And that's just something where it's at, man. You know, it's just me being completely honest with you and forthcoming with you. So.
That same day, in the same interrogation room, detectives sat down with Rainor Joyner, and what they encountered was chilling. Where Degroat had shown signs of distress and conflict, Joyner displayed something far more disturbing. a complete absence of remorse. He spoke about the murder as if it were justified, as if he had the right to take Matthew McLaughlin's life. The methodical way he described what they'd done, shooting their friend, dismembering his body, scattering the remains along a desert highway, was cold, calculated, detached. But one question still haunted investigators. How does someone plan something this brutal? How do you prepare yourself to kill and dismember someone you lived with, someone you called a brother? When detectives asked Joyner how he had devised this plan, how he had prepared himself for what he was about to do, his answer would be nothing short of shocking.
I have to go fucking Starbucks, dude. Starting from July 25 at roughly 1800, 7 p.m., I, Jordan Rainor, confronted Matt on the rightmost path leading to the house about 600 meters away. When confronting Matt, I asked him to explain why he was spreading rumors about me and bringing drugs, strangers over to the house. He, Matt in parentheses, said that I didn't come up there often enough, so it was basically his place. Having in a dark state of mind, I shot him with the Springfield Saint AR rifle I was carrying. After shooting him, I dragged his body to a tree 40 meters away on the left side of the road. July 26/27. I went to work. After work, I went to Harbor Freight and bought buckets. Not having what I felt I needed, I went to Tractor Supply. There I got trash bags and a splitter axe from there. I went to the land, going back to the tree to cut off his head and hands. After doing so, I bagged them, then placed them inside one of the buckets. I took that bucket in my work van to a drain ditch 4 to 5 miles up the road, dumping it in there. The next Wednesday night, I went to cut off the legs and arms. I found that wildlife had gotten him, so I cut off his forearm and legs below the knee, bagged them. Then I was able to rip out his upper leg bone from his hip sockets, bagging them with some of his clothes.
Which word was that?
Oh, I believe you're trying to say finally, but it's spelled final. I bagged his torso, throwing it all in a drain ditch 7 to 6 miles up. Thank you. That's good. Thank you. Alright, brother. So, obviously, we're here for the missing person that turned into a homicide case of Matthew McLaughlin. You're not free to leave at this point. You know that. I read your Miranda warnings. Or I told you your Miranda warning. If there's anything you want to add to your statement, let me know, because people are in the camp. But basically, for right now, from beginning to end, both the beginning being when all this stuff first started kicking off, to where you're at right now with us. What took place? Just describe and explain to us the entire situation with Matthew.
Let's see here. So, everything I told you last time we spoke about like him spreading rumors and all that wasn't a lie. That was all factual. Really, the only thing that changed from what I told you last time and me confessing was basically just the fact that instead of when I confronted him, I didn't let him walk away, I shot him. So everything was pretty much the same. Like I said, he was spreading rumors, he was bringing drugs, he was bringing strangers. Hey, fucking shit like that. I confronted him, I got fucking, I don't know, I got pissed off and decided, fuck it, you're not gonna fucking, I'm not gonna give you the chance to fuck up again. And so I shot him.
And then what?
Then from there, after shooting him, like I said in my statement, I dragged his body to a tree. Next day, went to work. Everything was normal. After work, I went to Harbor Freight, picked up a bucket, a few buckets. I only used one. And then they didn't know what I was looking for. I went to Harbor Freight, ended up deciding the best tool to use would be the splitter axe, and also bought some bags, 33-gallon trash bags. From there, went back up to the land, back up to that spot, cut off his head and hands, bagged him up, put him in the Harbor Freight bucket, drove back down the mountain, about 4 or 5 miles, found a deep drainage ditch, threw the bucket down there. That next Wednesday, which I think was about the 30th, 31st, Wednesday going into Thursday was my next time off. Next day off, so I went back up there Wednesday night, late Wednesday night, found the animals that already started to expedite the process, cut off his lower legs and forearms with the axe, bagged them up, set them aside, and bagged up his torso. Took it all back down, went to another drainage ditch that was further up, about 6 to 7 miles up the road. From there, you guys interviewed me a few days sometime after that. It was around, August 16th, 15th, 16th, I believe. Not a whole lot of interaction. The family member, David, they occasionally reached out to me. I told them I didn't know what happened. I told them I didn't know where he went. I didn't know what happened. I will add that this time, now that everything's only open, there was someone that did try and reach out to me, and someone that reached out to David that said they were a friend of the family that, clearly I'm the one who killed Matt. They were still suspicious as fuck because they kept bugging about it, but when David talked to Matt's older brother who was in the Marine Corps, he had no fucking clue who the dude was. It's like, I've never heard of anyone by this name or anything like that. That person's been calling us on and on again. I usually just don't answer. But that's pretty much it.
Okay. So, basically just going through the statement that you wrote, right? That's pretty much what you're sticking to.
Yeah.
So, I have a few questions for you, bro. What was your describe to me as much detail as you can your what made you make the decision to kill Matthew?
Honestly, it wasn't a hard decision to reach for me. I'd already given him, what I consider plenty of warnings before to deal with it, to, wrongs, and I take that shit very seriously. It's like, I'll give you a chance, I'll give you a chance, I'm not gonna give you another fucking chance.
Okay, and what do you mean by, warnings?
I'd gone up there before, like I told you guys already, and I told your lieutenant. I'd gone up there before, it never was violent, like, he acted like everything was fine. I'd gone up there, I don't know, that was not quite, a little less than a month before this all happened. I'd gone up there before because I already knew he was like starting to act strange and starting to like spread rumors and shit like that. And I gone up there, I confronted him, and we had a very civil conversation, you know. Fucking, he's like, okay, cool, I'm sorry, man. He's like, you know, won't happen anymore, whatever. Fucking, so I was like, okay, cool. You know, I spent the night there, and then he went to work. I went back to Taos, and I'd also tried to call him before, about a week before this all happened, more or less. We'd also met at Walmart, because we happened to be there. I talked to him and said, hey, you're still, you know, still kind of slipping up, what the fuck? And he's like, oh, it's, you know, I'm just, it's like, oh, it's fine, man, it's fine, I'm just, you know, work stressful. It's like, okay, I get that, I understand work stressful, but can't fucking, it's like, can't go back to what you were before fucking, you know, before all this. Fucking, you know, like we talked about when you, when we were still up on my land and you had me in touch and you were asking for info, it's like, you know, I told you that he was already had a bad past, and it's like, I figured, you know, your chance up here, I did it, TV isn't great, but, you know, it's still a good chance. Keep to yourself and you won't have fucking problems with anyone. And he, and, I don't know, he kept fucking up. He just kept fucking up, and I was just fucking tired of it. I don't fucking put up with that shit. I don't regret what I did, is what I'm saying. At the end of the day, I don't fucking regret what I did. That wasn't the same dude I started with, like I said before.
And why don't you regret it?
Honestly, I'm not, truth be told, I've never been exactly had a normal sense of, I guess, a normal sense of humanity. I don't know how else to put that. I've always kind of been the odd one out when it comes to shit like that, and always been the first one to just say it's like, you know, well, you can always deal with it. There's always one way to deal with a problem permanently. When I was in the army, when I was going through OSIT, my first one actually had, my first one at the time actually forced me to go to behavioral health and talk to a counselor, because I didn't deal with shit as in a normal way.
So,
One sec, bro. Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you, man, like, going through this, like, share with you, dude, we had, PC, or, like, probable cause, right?
Yeah.
For the search warrant for your place, based on just Matt's disappearance, the argument that you guys had. But, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, we're pretty, like, impressed. Like, without you telling us, I don't know how long it would have taken us to figure out Matt's death, man. Like, this was well thought out or well organized and planned. I just, where did you come up with it? Like, how did you figure out how to do all this?
Like I said, not quite normal in the head. Fucking, like, not even trying to be funny. Fucking, I've always thought of the whole, you know, the old joke about always having time to kill everyone in the room. That's who I am. I've always thought about, like, okay, here's how I would do it, here's what I would do. Fucking, doesn't matter if if I liked you is, you know, I haven't thought about it with David. I haven't even told him I thought about it with him. Hell, I cracked jokes with him one time, fucking about it. I was like, yeah, the only problem with killing you is all your fucking Tios will come looking for me, and then it'd just be turning to the Alamo. Fucking, I've always thought about, like, every way how to deal with situations, how to just, that's who I am. That's, some of that is admittedly was taught to me by my dad.
So how long before you killed, well, let me rephrase that. Did you plan to kill Matthew?
No, I actually never planned to kill him. I never planned to actually kill. I planned to kill him in the sense of, like, it wasn't premeditated. When I went up there, I was giving him one last chance to fix things.
And describe that one last chance to me.
It was just going to be one last confrontation. The original plan was to fucking kick him out, like what the story originally stuck to. The original plan was the original plan. That's why it was so easy to stick to that story. Because the original plan was to fucking, it's like, hey man, gotta get your fucking shit together, you know, go fucking, you know, go stay with your bitch or fucking someone else. And it's like, you're not welcome out here anymore. And just, I don't know, the way he acted, the way his tone of voice was, fucking, I just clicked. Just clicked.
Was it being rude or?
Yeah, and like I said, nothing I said in that was a lie about him acting like that was something like his property, something like his place. It's like, no, motherfucker, I brought you out the fucking, you know, out of the generosity of my fucking heart. I drove out of my way to go to fucking Winchester, Virginia, to come get your ass, bring you all the way down here so you would have a new start. Because, again, if you look through my phone, there's, fucking, I don't know if they're still there because, like I was telling one of your, not your lieutenant, but one of your other sheriffs, I was telling him, I'm not sure if it's there because it's a new phone, but it's the same number. But I did have text messages between me and Matt where he was like saying it's like, oh yeah, you know, I'm actually looking forward to going out there. You know, it's a new start, like what I told you. Mm-hmm. It's like he literally did say it's like it's a new start, man. You know, I'm sick of Virginia. I'm sick of, you know, my family.
So, Brother White, this is where we're gonna have some. We gotta figure something out. I have information that you had this situation planned out for weeks, and it's from an extremely reliable source. It describes that you guys were going through stuff for, you and Matt were going through problems for weeks, and that David had even talked you out of murdering him on several different occasions. What's that about?
Like I said, it was never really me meditating. That was more just me running my mouth. I did the same shit in the army. I fucking.
So describe to me the running your mouth, because basically, with what you just did there, bros, you acknowledged what I was saying, but you're trying to tell me that it wasn't premeditated. So I understand that to an extent, but you're like, it's like a double negative, right?
Mm-hmm.
So describe to me what you mean by that.
No, I mean, I was known for, you can ask any of my fucking dudes I've served with, I was known for constantly being the guy that's like, that would say, you know, it's like, I should just fucking murder him, I should just fucking kill him, you know, if I was pissed off at someone. Like, most of, you know, it was never.
So those types of conversations, did they happen between you and David about Matthew?
Yes.
Can you describe those conversations for me?
Most of the time it was just me, fucking, David would tell me something, I'm like, fucking, and it's like, and I just kind of get pissed off. It's like, oh, I should fucking, you know, I should just fucking kill him. I should just deal with him. Again. But it was never really like, again, I know it's a double negative for you guys, you know, from a police perspective, you know, law enforcement perspective, but it was never the direct intention to, you know, it was never premeditated, in my opinion. It was never the intention to do that, you know. You know, it's like, I have a career, I have a life, and, you know, that would kind of fuck things up, which obviously fucking is, but, you know, so it was always just words.
So, let's do this. Let's go to the confrontation. That confrontation, I want you to describe it to me. The one that led to his death. On the 25th. I want you to describe to me exactly what happened, where you were at, what weapons you used, and how that transpired, and where David was in relations to that.
David was still in the house. Again, I had my Springfield echelon on me, and then I had my rifle, my Springfield Saint on me. I fucking met him on the road because he had texted David that's like, oh, I'm coming up from Brad's house, which is the dude that I was telling you about that lives in the trailer somewhere down there. Fucking, it's like, so I knew he'd be coming up that road. I fucking waited for him out there at that crossroads. Fucking started walking towards him, and I saw him. Fucking talked to him, like told him, like I said, fucking I said, hey man, what's with the fucking rumors? What's with the fucking you trying to say this, and this about me? It's like, and fucking you bringing strangers over and drugs and shit like that. And he said it's like, well, you know, you don't come up here, you don't live here. It's basically my place. Fucking, I was like, well, no, the fuck, it's not your place. It's fucking my place, and fucking half the shit you fucks use, like, shit that I bought, shit that fucking I made sure you guys had so you would have to live up here. This is how you gonna fucking repay. This is how you gonna fucking act. And fucking I don't honestly remember because I just was.
Hey Sarge, I'll call you back after this interview. Alright, bye. Sorry.
I really don't fucking. I don't know. I was just so fucking pissed. I really don't know what the fuck he said after that. He said something and I just fucking shot him. Like,
Where'd you shoot him at?
like I said, it was at fucking. It was where I showed you guys at fucking like 600, 700 meters from the house.
How about, I'm sorry, let me clear. On reference to his body.
Chest.
Chest?
Yeah,
Right,
chest.
left side?
Should have been the left side, I believe.
And then what happened?
He sort of tried to stumble off, like in where those rocks were that I showed you guys. Fell over, death gargled for a good solid 6 to 7 minutes, maybe longer. After I was sure they died, I fucking dragged him to that tree.
Okay. So, why am I having conflicting stories about this? Why is there a story that you had set this up intentionally and that you would threaten David's life if he didn't participate in it? Explain that. Remember, brother, honesty is the best policy at this point in time, right? Through our investigation, it was found that the day that he went to Colorado, which was the 25th, Matthew went to Colorado, he came back, and while David was helping him come back up from Cassandra's house with groceries, you had intentionally set yourself up in a position to shoot him, and then you shot him. Then you went up to him and you shot him 2 more times to finish the job. Can you explain that to me?
Yeah, I can. Because the reason I said I did everything was because I was trying to keep David out of as much trouble as possible. I said may have threatened him, but that's more just to keep his weapon, to make sure he keeps his goddamn mouth shut. But since we're going with that.
I'm listening, brother.
Since we're going with that, fine. What happened was, yes, it was with the AR still, it was still in the chest, it was on the right side. I was, the confrontation didn't really happen.
Mm-hmm.
I did think about confronting him, but I was already so just fucking fed up with it. That's like, whatever. I'm not even wasting any more breath on him. And so I was set up at the crossroads. I was set up on. Let's see. I was in prone position with my AR, fucking set up on the side closest to the house of the crossway on the left side. Saw him come up the hill, fucking with David. Made sure it was him and not David because behind was his time was here. David was here. Fucking made sure. It was circumstantial by that point because he had turned around to deal with the cart, because the cart we used had tipped over. I fucking lined up my shot and it still would have been left side, I think. Hold on, let me think about this. Actually, right side. Yeah, right side. Right side shot him through the back of the chest, hitting his right lung.
And then what happened?
I did pretty much the same thing. He fucking tried to stumble away, fucking death gargled, fucking then I had David help me drag him to that tree.
Okay. At one point, did the extra 2 gunshots come in?
That was while I was fucking after shooting him in the chest. I ran up and fucking shot him in the head twice. I originally only planned to shoot him once, but fucking because he was, going through death spasms, he fucking moved. So the first one just hit his jawbone. So the second one, I fucking made sure to line up and hit him in the temple.
Okay, so then you guys drag him to the tree and what happens?
Pretty much that was it for that night. Fucking went back to the house, fucking I was with David, fucking it's like, what happens if you tell anyone? Fucking then fucking went home.
Where's home?
Yeah. Fucking home, fucking Goose Store where my fiance was.
132 Boostorf.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there.
From there, it's pretty much everything on that's pretty much accurate. Fucking, bought a few days later, bought fucking the buckets, the tools, fucking chopped them up.
And why did you decide to chop them up?
Made the most sense to get rid of them. It's all fucking, you can't really bury anything out there because it's all fucking volcanic rock and shit, so you can't really bury anything. So, chopping them up made the most sense.
And it made the most sense for what reason?
Just easy disposal.
And why were you trying to dispose of his body?
Because I killed him. There was no ulterior motive there other than the fact that I killed him, and disposing of him seemed like the best course of action.
How many times did you discuss the plan to kill Matthew with David? I have information that these discussions happened quite a few times, and you'd actually initially planned to hit him with a 308. But David managed to talk you out of it for a couple of weeks before you ended up kind of forcing David into this situation and doing all this stuff. Basically, you're going to help me or else. The day that he got back, you provided some specific specific instructions to David. Can you describe those instructions to me?
Yeah, so, yes, I did have the conversations happen multiple times. Yes, I was originally going to shoot him with the 308, but my 308-0 was fucking too far off. For me to get an effective shot of anything that was further than, like, 50 meters. That's why I went with the AR, but, for fucking those specific instructions, it was pretty much just to text me when, you know, he was going to be coming up, and I told David, it's like, hey, make sure you're, you know, I'll be here, I'll be on this side of the road, this side of the road I just told you about. It's like, make sure you're on the opposite side of that, and because I love animals more than humans, I told him, make sure you have the puppy, and the puppy is like, you know, away from Matt when I take the shot.
Almost got shot, sorry. What assistance did he provide you in disposing of that body?
I made him hold the bag,
What for?
just because it was easier. Wasn't, you know, to remove just to scare him or anything like that, it was just easier to have him hold the bag while I did the dirty work.
And what's the dirty work?
Chopping it up, just in case body bloat or anything like that had made the body volatile in nature.
Okay. And so you used your Saint, which is in the van, correct? Is that accurate?
Yes.
What weapon did you use when you went up and put the 2 shots into the one to his jaw and the one to his temple?
That would have been the Beretta.
David's Beretta?
Mm.
What did you think was going to happen after? So, let me rephrase that. What was the final straw? What made you make the decision that, hey, I'm going to kill my friend? I'm going to set him up and I'm going to kill him. What made you choose that path at the end of everything?
Nothing I said before was a lie. I don't put up with shit like that. It's like, I told myself I would never put up with shit like that again. It's like, I've given him chance after chance after fucking chance. You know? And it's like, every time it just fucking, you might as well just actively spit on my fucking face about it.
And how do you feel about the fact that you guys served together in the military for as long as you did? You picked him up, you brought him out here, and killed him in cold blood, set him up with somebody you trusted. You forced somebody that you care about to set up somebody else you care about in order to murder him. And then you chopped his body up in order to dispose of it. Do you have any sympathy or sadness or pain or regret about what you've done?
Truthfully? No. Like I said, I wasn't the same guy I served with.
Oh man, well, I don't have anything else.
Can you tell me? Can you tell me about the bags, bro? And like how many bags or buckets are out there?
Like I said, I never lied to you guys about that. There should have been at least the first spot you guys stopped at should have only been the bucket, and then the next stop should have been. Think about that for a second. Should have been 3 bags.
The next like 3 bags.
Yes, it should have been 3 bags. I was nothing but compliant with you guys about that. I don't know what the fuck happened to the other bags. That's where I got them.
And I do appreciate the fact that you took us to both locations and that you were honest with us about the bodies. They're coming out. They're coming out at 1 today. If he's got one for you.
Okay, and then just going back, man. And look, like, it's okay if you don't want to talk about this. I just trying to piece this together so it makes a little more sense. Going back, like you said you're the one that's left out, like the one that I guess you think different. What do you think made you like that, or did you think you were like that? Like growing up, was it weird?
Was it weird? Yeah, I'll say. Well, let's see. Before joining the military, I have lived in 23 states because we were chronically homeless, moving around from state to state. Fucking, my mother is a fucking psychological fucking liar, and my mother's a fucking psychological liar who fucking always made shit up, always fucking made life hard. Fucking, my dad was, I love that man. I loved him dearly. Fucking, but he sometimes wasn't the best role model because he himself had a lot of, being an old fucking GWA vet, I think he had a lot of fucking PTSD and trauma from that he never dealt with. Mm-hmm. I remember multiple times, me and him would fucking be sharing a drink, and fucking, I remember one of the stories that always stuck out to me was like his, 2 things he told me was, he told me about when he was a fucking, sniper with the Rangers and shit, shooting fucking some 16-year-old Afghani kid. And then his second thing was, it's like, well, kid, well, son, it's like, if you join the army, you fucking get deployed, blah, blah. It's like, they're going to tell you combat's hell, they're going to tell you fucking, all this fucking shit. But it's like, he looked me dead in the eye and said, it's like, son, you're like me. You're going to like killing. You're going to find it easy. Which, I guess he's not wrong. Fucking. So, okay.
Have you ever killed anybody else?
No.
This is your first time ever murdering somebody?
Yes. I've been close a few times.
So what you were just talking about there, about your dad saying that you were gonna like killing, and you said that you agreed with it. Can you elaborate on that?
I don't know. It was fucking, I guess life ain't quite the right word per se, but fucking, it wasn't hard. It wasn't fucking, a little less than fucking 3 pounds of pressure on a trigger. Fucking, took me like maybe 2 seconds to fucking run up with that pistol, fucking dome in the head. It wasn't, I won't say light per se, but it was an adrenaline rush. It wasn't fucking hard to do at all.
Understandable, bro. Understandable.
Okay.
No, I mean, I shouldn't say understandable, but I get what you're trying to say there. I really don't think we should have anything else for you.
You have any questions for us, man?
No.
What the process is going to be from here, bro, is take you in there. Like I promised you, I'll let you talk to your fiance. You guys can hang out for a few minutes. Obviously, it's going to be in there, so nothing inappropriate.
Yeah, obviously.
I have to say it though. I have to say it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're going to be taken over to Taos County Adult Detention Facility for housing. You'll receive a copy of your arrest warrant when it's completed and signed by a judge.
Okay.
And then you'll be in jail until you hear your court date, more than likely. Okay. We appreciate your cooperation. I will notify the district that you took us to find the body, recover it, and that you confessed, and we're here now. Other than that, it's, you got a long road ahead of you. And there's not another way to, there's not like a way to sugarcoat that for you. It's a long road. If other things come to your mind, you want to talk, you know, just let them know that it's about a homicide and you've got to talk to Deputy Byers or Deputy McCarty about it. And
Okay.
one of those guys will get a hold of us and we'll talk to you and go from there.
Okay.
Okay. The time is, looks like 6:58. Give or take a minute or so, depending on how much you watch this, we're going to include this interview.
Before you take me out, can I take this?
Absolutely. Will you turn mine off from there? Yeah.
Following their confessions, both Rainor Joyner and David Degroat were formally charged with first-degree murder, tampering with evidence, and conspiracy. The evidence against them was overwhelming. The detailed confessions captured on tape. The human remains found exactly where they said they would be, and perhaps most damning, the complete lack of remorse displayed by Joyner when describing how he'd executed and dismembered Matthew McLaughlin. If convicted of first-degree murder, they each face a mandatory sentence of life imprisonment with no possibility of parole under New Mexico law. But no verdict, no sentence, no amount of prison time can undo what happened. Matthew McLaughlin was just 25 years old, a U.S. Army veteran who'd come to New Mexico seeking a fresh start, hoping his fellow soldiers would help him turn his life around. Instead, he was betrayed by the very men he had served alongside, men who claimed to be his brothers, men who ambushed him in his own home and took his life in the most brutal way imaginable. For Matthew's family, back in West Virginia, the pain is unimaginable. Not just the loss of a son and brother, but the horrific manner in which he died and the cruel betrayal that led to it. This case stands as a stark reminder that sometimes the greatest danger comes not from strangers, but from those we trust most.